Welcome to Sterling High School. I'm joined here today by Mr. Paul Mays, our network administrator. I'm Jarod Claybourn, your principal, and it is Friday and we are doing our weekly video. Mr. Mays, thank you for joining us. How are you and your family?
We are doing well today.
Very good, sir. Thank you for joining us. So we have a couple quick announcements that we want to go through, some examples of things to come, and then I want to take some time with Mr. Mays and let you know some of the things that he provides our wonderful school district. So first up is back to school night. So back to school night is on next week, Tuesday, October 6th at 6:30 p.m. What is going to happen for back to school night? We wanted to drive this the same way that instruction is driven through teams. So teachers will create team meeting links and they will send that to their students. So we are very intentional about using the student devices, which are school issued, and using Teams so that you will have the same experience as a parent guardian as the student is having. So it's going to be essential that you as a parent guardian communicate with your student on being able to sit down, access the student tablet, access Teams, and connect during those times. So it's going to begin again on Tuesday, October 6th at 6:30 p.m. And when it gets to Monday, I would make sure you follow up with your student to make sure they're ready to go and you guys should work together. If your student has a commitment, just have them leave that computer available to you so that they can do it. But we want to encourage you to work together to participate in back to school night, which is virtually next week. Okay, Mr. Mays, we've gone through lots of different changes in tech support and what we do, especially in this COVID. It's different from the spring where we were fully remote and now we are in this hybrid schedule. So first of all, tell me about your team. What does your team consist of?
All right, so our team is Gina Lasante and Jeff Routson. They are what I would say the first line of defense. They handle most of the situations that come up with the students and the staff, and they do a very good job of dealing with those issues as they come up. Only very rarely do I actually have to get involved with a situation that they can't handle directly.
And that's great. And even I would say that your team has done a great job of continuing to provide resources to the teaching staff and other support staff on how they can also be first line troubleshooting in terms of in the classroom and supporting students as well.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. They've done a really good job of acclimating the teachers to steps that they can take to help litigate what issues that they would have to deal with so that the stuff they deal with is a more complicated issue than just simply restart your computer or things of that nature.
That classic restart computer. Sometimes we just can't get away from it. But that's all right. All right, great. So what do you think is one of the biggest challenges that your team has, particularly in this model?
I would say probably the hardest thing is that with the students that aren't in the building, trying to troubleshoot things the best we can, because like some things you just physically can't do remotely. If the computer's not responding, we'd have to bring it in. So dealing with that situation is probably the hardest. Okay,
so let's talk about some of the things that we've done to be able to meet the needs of those students. So in the spring, everybody was fully remote, even including us as staff. We're working from home. And so how did we do that? So the best thing we created was that email, which is that IT department at sterling.k12.nj.us. So we've expanded that, and I'm showing you on the website here. So this is our main site, and if you just kind of scroll down, you'll see the video will play from right here, and then right on the top, we have the information on the return to school, so you can have all the updated information there. We have our staff screening link that everybody's doing and doing very well. But then we added a couple of different ways. Again, here's the IT department email that can be used anytime, but we added a couple other things. So we added, what we're really excited about is this virtual tech support experience. And essentially what that is it's similar to being in a classroom. There is a Teams meeting that is made available, and we have staff that are assigned to be there and available to you. Now, those staff are not necessarily tech support staff, nor did we require them to be. They're just teachers or staff members that would try to perform the same function that they would do in the classroom, but to help ease the burden on the classroom teachers who are trying to instruct. And so that's just another support. So essentially what they can do, a student's having issues connecting, volume, whatever it might be, they can just go into this virtual lobby and there's someone there that can help troubleshoot that. So we're excited to launch that, which was launched just this week. Additionally, during the school day, we did offer a tech support hotline. So we didn't have this in last year because we weren't even in the building, but we saw the need. And so maybe you're a person that your internet's down completely and so you can't even email. You can call this tech support hotline during the school day and it'll go right into our tech to help. So I think that's great. You recognize Mr. May's challenges, and through communication and research and seeing what other schools are doing, we've been able to offer these additional supports. What is one of the things maybe that you're most successful or you're most proud of in your role as our network administrator here at Sterling?
I would have to say the most proud thing I am is that the old infrastructure, the old servers, all that old equipment that we were running on in the other building, once we got the new servers and new equipment in on the school now, the migration process from all that to this went very smoothly. There was barely, if any, issues that came up with that transition, and considering what was involved in that, I think it went really well.
Yeah, some people, don't understand what happens behind the scenes, right? So many of us are blessed, and we might be able to have a newer car, right? After 15 years, if you're driving a car, it's just not the same anymore, right? There's tons of new things. Well, the backbone infrastructure of what it takes to make a one-to-one district operate, those things have to be upgraded and updated too. And thankful to you, Paul, working with our business administrator and our Board of Education to accurately budget in advance to make sure that we are in a timely fashion updating our infrastructure so that we can support where we want to be. So great job there. All right, so thank you, Mr. Mays. A couple of the items that we wanted to talk about. I did want to give you an update that we did have an opportunity to bring the Camden County Health Department into our building to kind of walk through some of the things that we're doing in this pandemic to make sure that our students and staff are safe. Many of the things that we have done have been affirmed and we're really proud of, and then they gave us some tips that we can improve on, which we are doing. So we've implemented those things, and again, just another way for us to be advanced proficient in advance of when, not if, but when we have issues of COVID-related cases in our community. So it was a great step by Mr. Sheehan to invite them in. We want to thank Mr. Sheehan for doing that, and our school, we can assure you again, is as ready as we can be. But just a reminder, is just because we're ready doesn't mean that the county doesn't come in and say, hey guys, you need to take a break, that you need to quarantine as a school. That we anticipate will happen at some point, but we now have the most up-to-date knowledge so that we can best prepare for that. Also, reminder, when that happens, probably not if, but when it happens, we will stay on the hybrid schedule, right? So we will continue to follow the hybrid schedule where your students are logging in all 5 days for all their classes. We will not shift to a fully remote schedule until there is a situation where we are fully remote for an extended period of time. But if we just have to quarantine, we will remain on that hybrid schedule and continue to follow that nice schedule where students are logging in, 8, 9, 10, 11, and that's how it's going to continue to go. We have athletics begins, okay? So we had successful scrimmages. Tennis is already underway, cross country is underway, and we're going to continue to have athletic events. We never thought that it was going to come, but here it is. And it begins again with football tomorrow. We're excited to have it. Just note, the priority is our student athletes, right? The student athletes are safe and they get an experience. And unfortunately, not all of us fans will be able to attend in person, but I want to thank the TV19 crew for making things available. They have a great schedule to record as much as they possibly can and broadcast. So make sure you're following Channel 19 and making sure that you can see the live things that are being posted via YouTube. Additional items is just attendance. I wanted to thank you, both the students and the parents and guardians, for adhering to our timelines of those staggered entries. Really, students are doing a fantastic job of coming to school on time for those that are in person. And then those that are at home remotely, we are doing much better at logging in at the appropriate time. And just, remember, even though you're fully remote, you can be marked late. So good job. We're also processing that difference between being a attendance, so you're present in person or present online. And then how do we dissect that information? And one of the things that we're working on to get the parents the best information is, what if you were supposed to be, today's a silver day, and I was supposed to be in school as a silver person, and I wasn't feeling well or whatever, and so I made the proper choice to stay home, but you logged in on time, present online as you were supposed to. How do we reflect that as a school back to the parent, just to make sure that the parents are aware of that? So we have added an automated phone call, and we are working through that to make sure it's clean and give you the best information. So we appreciate you being patient with us as we give that process to you. And again, it's all about safety, making sure everybody knows where everyone is. So again, that started with just a thank you for being on time, for being present, online and on time. With that, the one last announcement is next week is Respect Week. So Respect Week is something that is a NJDOE mandate that we highlight and promote respect. And we have a fantastic safety team and pandemic response team and equity team that work together to provide themes throughout the week. So you'll see here, Monday is the starting line. The focus is on equity. We encourage all students and staff to participate in these items. So that's Monday. Tuesday will be cultural awareness, ethnic identity, so wear a color T associated where you're from. Inclusion Wednesday, choose to include. So wear orange for acceptance and support of special needs. Thursday, orientation, be an ally. Wear rainbow, tie-dyes, and support. And then connections. Sterling Strong is our theme throughout the year. Friday, wear your team tee, spirit colors, blue and silver. Excellent job. Thank you to our equity team for working to provide a fantastic Spirit Week experience for that. Look for Believe in You to also promote those items as well. Okay, Mr. Mays, thank you for joining us. Thank you for all that you and your team does. Thank you for continuing to work with Channel 19 and making sure that we can provide those. And with that, that's it for this week of the Castle Connection here from the TV studio. Happy Friday and go Knights.